Welcome to Jewish Inspirational Stories. We're reading from the book Living Emunah by Rabbi David Asher. Hashem is always watching. The highest level of a mitzvah observance is achieved when a mitzvah is observed in private, without fanfare or publicity. The true nature of man is such that he always seeks fame and recognition. We must remember that Hashem is always watching and recognizing every ounce of effort we invest in our avodas Hashem. When a person performs a mitzvah discreetly, this is an exercise not only in humility but also in bitachon. Mishat Chachma teaches this concept in explaining the Gemara's comment. Whoever learns Torah all night, the Shekhinah is next to him. When the sages speak here of night, the Mishat Chachma explains they refer to times when nobody sees the studying, and he devotes himself to learning in complete privacy, solely for the sake of the mitzvah. Hashem loves this mitzvah that we perform in private. In the next world, we will be shown that He watched every mitzvah we perform. Sometimes we are given the privilege of seeing how He watches and is taking note of our good deeds performed sincerely for His sake. Rabbi Pesach Eliyahu Falk told a remarkable story that took place around 30 years ago in Israel. A yeshiva boy took a ride in a taxi cab, and he was so engrossed in his learning during the ride that when the driver stopped at his destination, he forgot that he was in the cab and thought that he was just being given a lift. He thus exited the cab without paying the driver and realized that the boy did not intentionally fail to pay and simply made an honest mistake. So he decided to ignore it and drive away. Just after he took off, however, the boy realized that he had not paid the taxi driver and started running after the cab as fast as he could. He almost caught up to the car as it stood at a red light, but just then the light turned green and the cab drove away. The boy felt terrible. He is probably thinking that all yeshiva students steal and cheat. He thought to himself, I must do whatever I can to pay. He started running after the cab again and several times nearly caught it at a red light, only to watch it drive away. Finally, after 20 minutes of frantic running, he caught up to the taxi and knocked on the window. The driver opened it and the boy said, I'm very sorry, I forgot to pay you, and handed him the money. The driver was stunned. He repeatedly asked the boy, What, you ran all the way here? He simply could not believe it. 30 years later, the boy, now a grown man, was walking along a street in Yerushalayim and saw a sign announcing a special drasha that he was being given by a certain rabbi in the subject of Kiddush Hashem. This was a topic that was very especially dear to this man's heart. So he wrote down the time and place, and when the time came, he attended the shiur. He thoroughly enjoyed the lecture, and when it was finished, he went up to the rabbi to thank him. I just have one question though, the man said. You mentioned in the shiur that somebody creates a real Kiddush Hashem, then Hashem will show it that he personally witnessed its outcome. But once I made a Kiddush Hashem some 30 years ago, I never saw any outcome from it. He proceeded to tell the rabbi the incident with the cab driver when he was a young yeshiva student. The rabbi's face lit up when he heard the story, and he smiled and said, I am the driver. He was that cab driver, and he was so impressed by the yeshiva boy's integrity that in the effort he made to pay the money that he decided to become a Baal Teshuvah and study Torah. He eventually became a noted Rav, and I am the fruits of your Kiddush Hashem, he said. Indeed, Hashem showed you the result of your actions 30 years later. We must trust that Hashem is watching and taking note of each and every mitzvah we perform, and we will eventually see the fruits of our labor. Thanks, and we'll continue tomorrow.